comes, black on the ground, cracks in the jumper, something crawling down. From the black trumpet, he ascends and runs. Every roller nailed to his iron joint cross. I'm like a rusted saw, tripping, sinking, fall. Every breath is to a storm, every word untold. Boom, boom, God of decay, chilling to the world, driving it away. Boom, boom, open your jaw, let the kingdom crumble under rotten lie.
Let's talk. We had a few topics to talk about, right? Let's get this one out of the way because this is a very positive topic, okay? And I want to talk about it now because I want you to understand how grateful I am, okay? So I want you to think back. First of all, I want you to think back. If you're someone who's been around for a while, I would like you to think back a few years ago, okay? I want you to think back to a time when things weren't so good. What is up, everyone? Hello, hello, and welcome. Oh, the camera's on. The camera's been on the whole time, huh? I don't even know. Financially, things were very tight for me. The only way that I could make ends meet was basically to have a series of good streams back to back. I really was living, as they say, paycheck to paycheck, I believe is the way that they call it. Meaning, you know, the next time that you work and you earn money, you hope it's enough so you can pay your bills and you can make ends meet, right? Now, keep in mind, I used to be a very prominent, popular YouTuber. That was a long time ago, all right? But there was a time when I was known as one of the top gaming YouTubers, and every single one of my videos got tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands of views. Every one of my streams did incredibly well, and everything was good. And then that all went away. And I was in a really bad way, financially. I declared bankruptcy. I had to. There was no way that I was ever going to pay off the debts that I owed because of the bad way that I was in, and I had to do what was best for me and my family to get out of that situation. But basically, every time I streamed, it was like a make or break situation. I need to have a good stream today. So how can I motivate people to contribute? Let's put on vests. Let's put on glasses. Let's put on silly hats. Let's dress up and act a fool and do all this kind of stuff. And people across the internet kind of started to know me for that stuff. Wow, he's that guy who acts like a clown and dresses up in stupid clothes when he streams. Can you believe that Phil does that? Let's all make fun of him for it. Now, keep in mind, I never wanted to do any of that. That was the kind of stuff that I had to do to stand out and motivate an audience to contribute to my streams, because otherwise it was just a bunch of people dumping on me constantly. And it wasn't a good time. It was incredibly stressful. All the time I was worried about paying a bill or making ends meet and stuff like that. It was a really bad time in my life, to be honest, okay? It was very, very tough. Thank God I had my wife to help me get through that time and to be there for me behind the scenes. But it was very tough, okay? Now, fast forward to I would say maybe about 2 years ago. So let's say early 2024. Things were getting better, okay? They had been getting better for a while. You know, I was doing better in my streams and my content, and it wasn't as financially crazy tight anymore. And I was coming out of this rut, basically. And I was still, every once in a while struggling a little bit. And the thing was, like, you'd have times when, let's say something went wrong and all of a sudden I had to dump a bunch of money on something. Like something broke in the house and I had to pay for someone to come fix something. Now all of a sudden things would be tight again. I'd be like, oh my God, this sucks, right? There was also the fact that around 2 years ago, early 2024, my setup was ancient, okay? I was using a over 10-year-old PC to capture and stream. It was not up to snuff anymore, and people were upset that I was behind the times with my technology. My camera looked awful, right? The setup, the lighting. I was using a college-grade lamp, something you would use in a dorm room. I was using for lighting here on my business every day, okay? I was gaming on a TV that had input delay.
and was on the other side of the room. I was squinting and looking across over here to do my streams at 2 monitors that I had to the left of me and a laptop in front of me that was all, you know, small and crappy and just an awful setup, right? For someone who's professional, you should be doing better than that. You should be having better equipment. You should be doing out better quality stuff, and I just didn't have the means to do it, right? So things were better where I wasn't really like 100% financially tight, but everything was just outdated and bad, and I was wondering how on earth I was going to turn that around for myself, because quite frankly, things just weren't going well enough for me to be able to afford these kind of improvements, okay? Now I want you to fast forward to a few months ago, okay? A few months ago, things have been a lot better. I was able to, through the generosity of others and through my own hard work, upgrade a lot of my set. You know, the PC that I'm using now for gaming is a donated PC. A fan donated that about 1.5 years ago. Super high-end PC at the time. Allows me to play everything at the highest settings, 4K resolution. Amazing upgrade. The capture streaming PC that I'm using, I bought for myself. And man, it allows me to co-stream on both YouTube and Kick. It allows me to stream at 1440p. I could actually stream at 4K, but then I wouldn't be able to co-stream it, you see? All these improvements, right, that have happened over the last 1.5 years or so, and people have really seen that improvement. All the technology and stuff that I'm now using, you know, actual lighting and effort in my sets, you know, actual effects now that I can use, which everyone has had for years and years, and finally I can use them. So now, you know, even my face cam during gameplays have dramatically improved. Everything better, right? But even then, there were still some limitations and things, and I was still tethered to the idea of having to have a financial goal every single time that I turned on a camera, okay? And that really, for me, was the one thing that really was driving me nuts. Because to be frank and honest with all of you, I don't like sitting here talking about money, asking for contributions, saying we're so-and-so from hitting this streak of goals and this, you know, continuous streak that we've hit of success, and we need to hit this goal to do this special event or to do this. You know, the big thing was DSP tries it. We need to hit 10 goals, and then we're going to do a new DSP tries it. Or we're going to hit a certain amount of goals, we're going to do a marathon and stuff like that, right? It drove me nuts. I absolutely positively hated it. I want you to understand that. Every moment that I had to do that stuff and talk like that and be like that, it's not me. Me, I want to be a guy that just sits here and chills with all of you, talks games, plays games, has a good time. And if anything, I certainly hope that that has come through recently. Because now what I want to do is talk about the present, okay? Basically the last 2 months. Because as you all know, 2 months ago, I had my interview with Asmongold. In fact, it was 2 months ago. If you're not aware, it was actually pretty much exactly 2 months ago, end of November, where I had to sit down with Asmongold and we talked and shot the shit for 2 hours. And we talked about me, but then we talked about games and we talked about all kinds of stuff. And basically what happened was, it gave opportunity for the world, and particularly a new audience who didn't even know me, to see me in a new light. They had only seen me as this toxic, negative meme on the internet, right? And because of that, they didn't know what I stood for. They didn't know that I was actually well-versed and intelligent on gaming issues. They didn't know what kind of games I played or you know what I mean? Like, they didn't know anything about me. All they heard was the negative memes. And I totally understand that. If you're someone who just sits around and you hear these memes from time to time, you believe them as fact. But after that interview, things went very, very differently for me. You know, I got exposure. I got almost 10,000 new subs within a week. I got new eyes on my content, people who were coming by and hanging out with me in droves for the first time ever. New increased viewership, new increased attention on my stuff, humongous support, right? And what's ended up happening in the last 2 months is quite amazing. Number one, engagement. And what do I mean by that? I mean that people who are coming by now are not just coming by to hang out, but they're also liking the videos. They're liking the streams. They're leaving comments, all right? And because of that, the channel is doing much better. A channel that gets views is one thing. A channel that actually gets engagement is another. In the eyes of YouTube and its algorithm, engagement is everything, okay? I want you to understand that. Like, without engagement, the YouTube algorithm kind of discards your channel or hides it, and it won't show up in related or anything like that. And the fact that now people are actively going out of their way to do these positive things for the channel is helping tremendously. I want you to know that I really appreciate it, because it is helping a lot around here. And that engagement is having this channel pop up. People are leaving comments, oh, I saw this in my suggested for the first time ever. And another thing that's really happened as a result, I am seeing people go back and check out my classic stuff. For the first time in tons of years, I'm getting comments on playthroughs that didn't have a single comment. I'm getting views on stuff from ages ago that people weren't watching, and now they're watching in droves. I'm like, wow, this is absolutely amazing that people are going back and discovering this giant catalog of content that I have had on this channel for so long, right? So long. But no one watched it. Because all everyone heard is that Phil was a schlub, and Phil was a bum, and Phil's a guy that dresses up like an idiot, like a clown, and he begs for money, and he talks about the goals all day. And it's funny because that's the impression people get, but every single time someone came by to my stream just to hang out, they'd be like, I don't know what the hell people are talking about. That's not the entirety of his streams. Yeah, he'll do calls to action every once in a while, and he'll say, hey, you can support this way, or he'll mention a goal, but never was that ever the entirety of a stream, as what people say it is. You know, it's always a gross misrepresentation. And so, honestly, yeah, it was the Asmongold exposure that allowed me to be seen in a new light. Okay? Now, listen, the Asmongold exposure didn't last, and what I mean by that is you're never going to get those people to stick around unless you say, do content like Asmongold. And let's be honest, I don't do content like Asmongold, right? I don't. I do gaming, mostly gaming. I'm not talking about current events. I'm not talking about politics and drama. I'm not feuding with other YouTubers. You know what I'm saying? I'm not doing any of that. I'm actually sitting here every day, chilling with the audience, relaxing. I'm trying to make an honest take at just not having this kind of toxicity, this kind of drama content. What I want to have is just fun and chill, relaxing times with all of you every day, okay? And I hope that that's coming through, and I hope that you guys are seeing and having that and enjoying it. The thing is, I know you are. Because again, like I said, the engagement is up. And particularly, all right, views on certain content are up. I've been able to now do things like, for example, go back to Clear Obscure, which I never would have been able to do in the past, and actually do all that content that I had missed out on and had wanted to play all year. I was able to go and do it, right? I was able to basically, for the first time in my entire time that I'd been streaming, jump from project to project, game to game, not have to worry about, oh, well, I have to buy this new game and jump a bunch of money on it, and I have to worry about, oh, you know, because I bought this game, now we have to play it in its entirety because I can't afford to do otherwise. You know what I'm saying? It's not like that anymore. In fact, it's quite the polar opposite, where now I'm free, much like many other creators over the years that you guys have always compared me to. And I kept telling you guys, well, don't compare me to this guy or that guy, because we're definitely a different situation. You have to understand that because of my limitations of what's going on here financially, that I'm not able to do the things that they do. And a lot of people didn't understand that. And we're like, I don't get it. Why can't you just buy this game and play it today? Why can't we play this game, and if you don't like it, go to another one, right? Because that was the thing that kind of differentiated me. You knew if I was playing a game that usually I would always finish it. But that's not always a good thing, particularly if you buy a game that's just mid, and then you play it a little bit, you're like, wow, this is boring, but now I'm sticking myself and committing myself to having to finish this entire game, and now the audience has stuck with it, because maybe you guys don't like it so much, but now I'm telling you, I'm going to be streaming it for 2-3 weeks, right? Well, that's not good. I'm streaming not for me, but for you. I'm trying to stream to entertain an audience, right? And so you have to understand that, like, I'm only here to entertain. I'm not here for myself. If I want to play a game offline, I can. I don't have to play it all on stream. So because of that, yeah, I now see things in a different light. You know what I mean? But that's because of you guys. Because this last couple of months, all right, have been so good. I mean, here's the truth of the matter, and here's where it really comes into play as a matter of fact that no one can dispute. Okay? So 2 months ago, I had my interview with Asmongold. And the interview, like I said, went well. And what happened was, I said, as of right now, because of the positivity that has happened, I'm abolishing all goals on streams. We no longer are going to have some kind of an arbitrary goal that I'm trying to hit on any stream. All right? Instead of that, I'm just going to relax and chill with the audience, and we're going to play games and have fun. And we're going to judge it on things like how many people show up, how much engagement, and yes, I'll look at support as well, but it's going to be a factor that we consider when it comes to what games we play and what games we don't. Okay? And as soon as I announced this, right, immediately there was a clamor and there was all this ruckus within my detractor communities. Oh, no. Phil's always been about financial goals. Phil's always been about asking and begging for money. There's absolutely no positive way at all that this will ever stick. So first it was, oh, this won't last more than a week. And it did. And then it was, oh, this won't last more than 2 weeks. And it did. And then it was, oh, this won't last till Christmas. But it did. Oh, this can't last past Christmas into the new year. But it did. Oh, this can't last another month. So now we're 2 months into this. Okay? 2 months into no goals, no sitting here trying to hit an arbitrary total every stream. Instead, we're just relaxing and enjoying each other's company and enjoying games, right? First off, can we all agree that it's much better? I think we can, right? Without me saying, let's hit the goal and let's get some subs and let's get this and that constantly. I think it's just a much better atmosphere. We can focus on the games. We can focus on discussion. We can do more fun stuff. Because it's not about me sitting here pounding the audience saying, give me money, give me money, give me money, right? Now, the thing is, you might say, well, you don't have the goals for 2 months. Well, how are things going? It must be going, well. They are. No, that's actually the truth. Things are going incredibly well. In fact, the last 2 months, things have been going better than before I had the goals. You know what I'm saying? Like when I was sitting here hounding the audience constantly, people would see me in a negative light and not want to contribute. And now what's happening is people are naturally coming by and becoming regulars and enjoying this stuff and supporting in droves. So because of that, I'm able to be just as good as I was before when I had the goals, if not better, and I don't have goals. All right? And it's amazing. Now understand that, again, this is a factor. Because there's other factors as well when it comes to the success of a game or content. For example, are people actually coming every stream and showing up and hanging out? Are people coming and talking about the game and actively having a great time and engaging with the content, meaning they're liking it, they're leaving comments, they're doing all that stuff? And is there support coming in? Those are the 3 factors that I look at to judge if a game is worthy of continuing on my streams. And so there's a lot of times when I'm playing a game and maybe one of those 3 things isn't jiving, and I ask the audience about it, and we make a determination. And that's the thing, like, it's always going to be like that, where you have to have some kind of a criteria to judge if something's working or not, or else, again, what's the point of me streaming? I could just be playing everything offline by myself and just playing what I like and not caring about anything else. So understand, it's not that, oh, well, support is not a factor. No, it is a factor. But also there's other factors that are intangible or not as arbitrary that also factor into things. And the thing is, with this new mentality that I have, I'm now able to go and do things that previously I wasn't able to do. Particularly, the one thing that I want to bring up, okay, is Claire Obscure Expedition 33. So this was one of my favorite playthroughs of 2025. And I went through playing, having a great time, all right, enjoying this game. But man, it was so hard to retain an audience for it. You know what I mean? Like, it seems like if it's an action game or it's a horror game or if it's a game that's like online multiplayer, it's a lot easier. Any game that's more of a slow burn style game or, that kind of game, it's so hard to retain an audience in the modern day. And one of my biggest regrets of the last year was that I only played through Act 1, Act 2, and the story finale, and literally never touched any of the content of Act 3 of Claire Obscure. Seriously, I touched none of it. I just skipped it, and most people who loved the game actually went back and played it, and I didn't. And that killed me. That absolutely killed me. That I had to forego that content. And then, when all this changed and I had a new audience and I was like, hey, you want me to go do it? Because I would love to do it. It's what I wanted to do all year. And people were like, yeah, let's do it. And then we did it together. And listen, not that it always worked, because there were some streams of that game that were absolutely dead. Okay? There was low attendance, low support, low engagement. But the thing is, if overall I'm doing great, if overall things are excellent, if I'm not sitting here trying to hit arbitrary goals, then it means that I can have a game in the rotation that's not doing so hot, but it's a passion project for me and I'm still able to do it. I understand that not every game's always going to be a hit, but the factor is that, if I'm enjoying it and there is an audience that's having a good time with it, then there's absolutely no reason to not play it, right? And that's basically what happened with Expedition 33. Is I was able to go back to it, I was able to play it and do all the content that I had missed, just culminating with Friday where we actually beat the Super Boss Simon and was even able to go back and check out this DLC that had come out in December that I never would have checked out. And I, got to check that out. I just had a great time, and that's because of you, because of the new changes, because of the fact that it's not tied to goals. We can go and have good fun no matter what it is that we're playing. All right. Now, there's going to be times when I have to make tough decisions, and there's going to be games that I have to stay away with because, again, I know that I'm streaming for an audience, right? We will always have these three factors of attendance, engagement, and support that we're going to use to judge if a game is worthy to keep playing on the stream or not. My time is valuable, okay? I need to be making these judgments of what's going to take up stream time and what's not. I do. It's very important that I make sure that having an audience of hundreds of people every day, thousands of people, quite frankly, in a week, that I'm doing stuff that they want, that I'm playing the games that you guys are asking for, okay? It's tough. It's very tough to decide because sometimes there's games that I absolutely love and you don't. Sometimes there's a game that you're liking and I don't like. And sometimes there's a game that's kind of mid and it's tough judgment. Do we keep going or do we try something different that might do better? It's going to be a new journey this year. It will be. It's going to be completely different. It's nothing like it used to be where it's just the goals, the goals, the goals, the goals. But I think having this community mentality of, hey, we're all hanging out and we're enjoying games together. And we're determining together whether or not this game is something worth playing. Okay? That's much better than, there's a number on the screen and we have to have it hit a certain value and then we keep playing. Because quite frankly, last year I do feel like there was things that overstayed their welcome, but I kept playing them because of that number. For example, Truck Sim. American Truck Sim was a game that I enjoyed, but should have ended 3+ months earlier than it did. And it was always just one or two people who would come to the Truck Sim streams and throw this giant Hail Mary contribution, and we would keep playing it. And it stayed in the rotation when we probably should have been trying other games and spending time on new things. We were just doing Truck Sim, Truck Sim, Truck Sim every single week, and it wasn't going anywhere. It wasn't like the streams were that meaningful. It became a way that basically my trolls tried to get fish to say something so they could do a clip farm of it. You know what I mean? And that's just not good. I absolutely should have been doing other kinds of content instead of those streams, but I just looked at the dollar sign rather than what my audience was really saying. A lot of people were saying, stop playing Truck Sim. For goodness sakes, Phil, it's just not interesting. We're bored. And I didn't listen. I ignored, and that's on me. But now, things are different. I can actually pivot left, right, up, down, in any direction. I can play any game. I can buy any piece of equipment that I need or we want to try out together. I can do all of that because of you. And so, 2 months into this amazing journey of positivity and fun and things very different than how they used to be, I want to take the time away to say thank you so much. Because of the positivity, the engagement, and the support that you have shown me over these years, this crazy 17+ year journey. I've had highs and lows, and for a while there, we were down in the doldrums, right? Every day was a beg-athon, and every day was about the goals, the goals, the goals, and now it's done. 2 months in, I never have to go back. Tell you that right now, I'm never going back. We're never going to have that arbitrary goal again. It's going to be about all of these factors weighed against each other. This new methodology is working. People are enjoying the content. I'm doing well. It's all successful. So thank you so very, very much. However, I just want you to understand one factor here. The negativity and the toxicity and the detractor videos that are made about me every day are never going to go away. And there's one real big reason for that, and it's very simple. Money. Okay? If toxicity, negativity, and bullying on the internet was not able to be monetized, no one would still be bothering me. Because in truth, all the things that people were on me for over the years are gone. Okay? Think about it. The awful look of my set is gone. The awful gameplay where I just sit there and blame developers all day instead of trying to play a game seriously. Gone. The fact that I sit there begging all day. Gone. The goals. Gone. Everything. It's all gone. Even when I clear my throat. I mute the mic now. Every single thing that I've been criticized for has been improved upon or fixed. So what happens now is, oh wait, but we need to make money, right? We're making big bank, making fun of Phil. So what's the next thing? Let's either make something up completely that's actually not true at all, like saying that I'm on Ozempic or something insane like that, even though I have worked hard to change my lifestyle, to change my diet, to work out, to improve myself as I have. They can't accept that. Wait, all the things that we made fun of Phil for are now fixed? well, we got to make something up. He's on Ozempic and his wife has left him and this and that. All nonsense. There's no longer a factual basis for anything that people bully me for. The things that they say and do are actually completely fabricated now, to the point where it's a laughing joke. Like, my wife and I, when we catch wind of this shit, we laugh so hard at how insane it is, how crazy this stuff is that they're saying. But the thing is, they need to. Like, take a look right now at the Kick Chat. How this person who keeps making 100 sock accounts behaves every day. Why do they behave that way? Because their narrative has to be true, or else they're doing nothing. You see what I'm saying? They have to invent nonsense in order to have their narrative be true. Because if it's not true, then no one would watch the content and they wouldn't make any money anymore. So let's just completely invent stuff. Let's spam his chat. Let's do this and that. And the thing is, it doesn't affect me. Like, to be honest, right now we're having a podcast. Is it affecting the podcast in any way? Does it matter what anyone said about me today? Does it matter that this idiot is spamming my chat? No. But that's it. They're living in their own bubble, to the point where the difference here is other people who are lolcows, all right? Because, by the way, you're a lolcow whether you like it or not. It has nothing to do with really your actions as much as they would like that to be the case. It's not the case at all. If someone prods you enough with a stick, you're eventually going to react to it, right? You can do your best to ignore it, but if you keep ignoring someone you prodding with a stick, eventually the stick's going to pierce your skin. So you have to move. You have to react. You have to do something. You can't just let someone keep bothering you over and over. You have to react. And that's what they don't understand about this whole lolcow culture bullshit is you say, oh, well, a lolcow is someone when you prod them or you poke them or you do something, it elicits a certain reaction that we can laugh at. And because they give you that predicted reaction, they're a lolcow. No. They're a lolcow because you keep harassing them and somehow the internet thinks that systematic bullying is okay. So it's very simple. It's not what you think. Maybe at one point it was. Maybe at one point you could look at someone and be like, well, they have something that they're doing wrong, endlessly. And therefore, we're going to call them out on it, and we're going to hope that they improve. And if they don't, we're going to make fun of them for it. And we're going to say they're a lolcow because we milk them for the lols or whatever, right? But in truth, that's not what it is anymore. Because this bullying, this systematic bullying has become monetized. It's now an actual moneymaker. It's a whole community of people who all they care about is making money defaming you. And they get away with it unless you can outright sue them, right? So it's actually toxic and sick. It's no longer, oh, we're trying to elicit that reaction. It's like, we don't care. We just say it. And even if that person literally never reacts, we still profit off of it. Because we've created an entire cult of people who are so fucked up in the head and brainwashed. All they want to hear is toxic nonsense about people on the internet so they can feel better about themselves. And they will continue to support people who literally lie. Okay? And that's what's messed up. Like, listen, I've done everything I possibly can to improve. I have. I literally don't have anything else that I can really do when you really think about it. I've improved my content. I've stopped the begging. No more goals. I actually physically changed myself to be healthier and better because that was one of the things that were constantly going on over and over. Oh, he's fat and he's lazy. I work hard. I have dedication to my content and my craft. Everything that was a criticism has been addressed. So what's the issue? What is it today? What new thing are you going to make up? Because you need money. Because you're a bum. Because you're broke. Not me. I'm far from it. I'm doing good. And that's what I'm here to say I'm thankful for. That I don't need to sit here and beg anymore because I'm successful. These idiots literally pay me for literal nothing. This person is giving me money right now. This person right here. I'm doing good. So what's your problem? What's broken up here in your head? Or is it that you're just a bum and you're desperate and you realize that your cash cow would dry up if you stopped lying, right? So for everyone here who's a fan and who's having a great time, all right, welcome. And thank you for being here the last 2 months. Welcome to the new reality that I'm successful, we're having a great time, and nothing that happens outside of this stream affects us. We're good. It doesn't matter what they say and do. They just can't hurt us anymore. I'm basically bulletproof at this point. And there's nothing that they can do about it. It doesn't matter how much they lie and harass and make shit up. There's nothing that can ever be done to stop me from having a great time with you every day on stream. And that's because of you. Because you stuck with me all these years, because of the dedication, because of the support. You're the reason why I get to do this for a living and why everything is so much better. So thank you so very much to every single one of you out there who's been with me, whether you were there the entire journey, whether you've jumped on somewhere along the way, whether you're a brand newcomer and today's your first day. I want you to understand that my life is better because of you. I'm grateful for it. And we're on a journey together of fun and relaxation and chill vibes. And nothing's going to stop that train from going how fast and how far we want it to go. Okay? Thank you. Very nice. Cool. All right. So, the goals are gone. They're not coming back. It was a 2-month experiment, right? Can we go for a while with no goals, and what would happen? I'll tell you what will happen. Amazing success. Because that's exactly what's happened. I've had amazing success these last couple of months. Not having goals. Just being me and enjoying and having fun. This is amazing. Thank you, everyone, again, for all of your support and positivity. Things are going great. And it can only go up from here because that's the thing. Like, now that I've got that momentum going and we got that positivity behind and there's none of that toxicity anymore, we're good. What we need now, honestly, here's the very God's honest truth. We need good games. We need good games to come back, because I'm not saying that there aren't good games. I'm saying they're the indie games, they're the little games. We need AAA studios to start pumping out gold again, right? Let's hope that this Resident Evil coming out in February is a great game. That's the kind of shit that people used to come to DSPgaming for. To see the new hot Resident Evil, to see the new hot FPS game, the hot new RPG, the hot new action game. But they don't exist, right? They just don't. These AAA studios are making garbage, so we end up sitting around playing indie games all day. Now listen, there's nothing wrong with playing indie games, but you want to get some kind of attention on the channel, and it's got to be playing the big ones again, right? So let's hope for the best. Let's have total domination once again of the gaming landscape. Let's get some great stuff going, and let's have a good time with each other. All right, let's go. I'm feeling incredibly positive about this year. I was a little worried. The moment that I took those goals away, I was worried. I'm not worried anymore. I'm good. I don't have a care in the world about that nonsense. I'm just going to have a great time with you guys. All right? All right, let's go. We got shout outs to do. All right. First off, it's just hilarious. As I was talking there, look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's people gifting me subs, and it's a troll. It's like, dude, number one, I'm never going to acknowledge you. And number two, you're paying me. How do you not understand that? I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. That's how they behave. Do you see what I'm saying? They're that crazy. Okay. So, Chimchar did a $5 super chat, and Chimchar is very negative for the record. He is, yet he supports anyway, and he goes, that's not true. What was abolished was you asking for support. Yeah, that's what I just said. So how is it not true? I said there's no goals, and I don't ask for support constantly anymore. I do a call to action every once in a while, and I'll say, hey, please support the content. Here's how you can do it. If you support it, I'll play it more often, right? That's all very transparent, matter-of-fact stuff, right? And everyone knows it. Like I said, there's factors. There's the attendance, the engagement, and the support. So I'm not, yeah, there's nothing. What's wrong with that? Nothing. Then he says, you have twisted it into no rewards and goals, but it was asking for money originally. So what you're saying is, I abolished the goal, okay, but I didn't abolish asking for support. No, you don't have to abolish asking for support. Literally every streamer on the planet asks for support. Every streamer that says, hey, here's a link, go click it and buy this merch. Click this and give me a referral. Do this, buy this, participate in this. That's exactly what I'm doing. I'm not doing anything any different than anyone else. I'm sorry, do you think I'm Jesus Christ or something? And I'm going to be like some kind of, flawless person who's going to sit here and never have to ask for anything? No, it's my job, stupid. It's my job to make a living, to pay my bills, to support my family. This is not for free streaming. It's not my hobby. It's my work. You understand? It's my occupation. I will always be saying, hey, please support this way and that way. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. If you think there's something wrong with it, turn the fucking internet off. Because literally almost everything you see on the internet is asking for something. I don't know if you were aware of that. Anyone who has any kind of a living on the internet is for pay. You haven't figured that out yet? How old are you, Chimchar? I'm curious. Are you like 5? You're crazy, man. Like, even saying that, well, we're mad that you ask for support. So you're mad at every single person who's ever streamed and ever made content on the internet. Because the moment that they say, subscribe to my channel, give me a like, give me a view, send some, a contribution to my Patreon, drop me a coffee or whatever it's called, go to my GoFundMe. Everyone's doing it. Literally everyone. So you don't have issue with me, you have issue with the system. So turn the internet off and go live in a library or, go be a farmer. That's fine. No one's going to hate on you for that, but to sit on here and dump on me because you don't like the system, right? That's kind of a broken thing there. I'm sorry. You're not angry with me in the way that I do things. You're just angry with content creation in general on the internet, and that's something that I can't fix. But thank you for $5. I appreciate that. In fact, no. Okay, that's right. Spedgy came in and did a big super chat earlier. Thank you so much, Spedgy, for that. Okay. Let's see here. Red Eyes did a $5 super chat and says, LFG, Phil, tell them how the shit's gonna run. That damn straight. Damn straight. And that's the thing. I have that power now. It used to be that I wasn't in control and the internet controlled me. Now I'm definitely the pilot of this ship. Right? I'm the captain, and I'm the one who steers us where we want to go, and I'm the one who's in control at all times, and I really am happy for that, because there was a time, again, where I wasn't. Things were out of control, and all this toxicity thrown at me on the internet was killing me. It was killing me. It was killing the business. It was killing everything. And now things are completely flipped in the opposite direction for the better. All right? And that's great. So thank you, Red Eyes. Ruckus Look did a $10 super chat and says, let's go. Let it go. Let's go. Thank you so much for $10. And someone named Your Future Divorce Attorney gifted a sub on Kick. Thanks for the gifted. All right. I got a $3 tip. Someone says, will you react to the new Mario Galaxy movie trailer that released this morning? Do you guys want me to? You already know I don't think this movie's going to be any good. I didn't like the first Mario movie. All right? I reacted to the first trailer for this Mario movie, and I think it looks terrible. Do you really want me to react to the new one? Not against it, if you really want me to. But I mean, I haven't seen it, but it's probably not going to be positive. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Let's see here. Someone tipped me $2, says, man, we're definitely a long way from that Scorn incident now. Yeah, that was 3+ years ago. This person says, I'd argue that was your lowest point. I think you now finally understand what Moist Critical was trying to say when he reacted to that. Mentioning money over and over does nothing. If they like you, they'll support. Yeah, and you have to understand, now I know that, but now I see it from a point of success, and you can't really see it unless you're there. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, if you're stuck in a rut and things are bad, you can't see outside of that bubble. Once you're out of the bubble, you can look in positively and say, thank God that I learned better, but man, it was hard when you were there. And you're right, that Scorn incident was one of my lowest points as a creator, where here I am just outright chastising, screaming at my audience for not sending me money, right? That's awful. Absolutely awful, I shouldn't have ever done it, and definitely I've learned from that experience and I've improved, right? So thank you for that. I got a $10 tip from Guitar Player. He says, man, right now there's snow in Texas. It's really cold. Yeah, isn't it where it's beginning? Is it like the very south of the United States? That's where this crazy winter front came in from. So it's from Texas all the way from the South U.S. up the entire East Coast. And you guys are all going to get like a foot or more of snow, supposedly. So, again, I wish you all the best. I hope you're all safe. I hope that you're equipped for it, especially in warmer climates where usually you wouldn't get this kind of weather. I hope that you guys are going to be all right. And it doesn't affect you too negatively. Guitar Player, at the very least, you can be here on stream if you're snowed in, right? I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to be here for the next 4 days. So, hopefully I'll give you something to do and watch, right? Thank you, Guitar Player, for $10. I appreciate that, man. Okay. And then let's see here. May contain bleach with a $10 Canadian super chat. Let's see what that one's equivalent to. That is $7.25. Thank you so much. Okay, Make a Dame Bleach asks, how much do you think that you would be playing games if you weren't a content creator? Like, is it something that you enjoy in your free time? Oh, yeah. Before I was a YouTuber, I was an avid gamer. You know, I was a competitive Street Fighter player. I built my own PCs, which a lot of people don't believe because, again, the narrative is that I'm a dunce or something. But I had multiple, gaming PCs that I had built, and I played all kinds of stuff on PC. The first 2 Call of Duties, I played on PC exclusively. I used to play all the Unreal games, Unreal tournaments and stuff like that. I was avidly into PC gaming. I did emulation, which I don't do now, but I used to do emulation all the time. I would emulate a whole bunch of classic games that weren't available readily, to buy or play. That's actually how I used to play games such as Earthbound and the classic Final Fantasies that weren't like on modern consoles. That's how I would play them. Now, the thing is, as I've explained, my mentality today is that I actively stay away from games when I'm off stream, because when I'm on stream, I'm almost always gaming. And I don't want my life to be so centered solely around gaming and games that I get burned out. Since my work is games, as soon as I'm out of here, I am not thinking about games. I'm relaxing with my wife. I'm spending time with my cat. We're doing things, anything but gaming. Now, not to say that there's no gaming involved. I talk with my wife about games and game news, and she sometimes plays games, and I watch her play and stuff like that. But it's not like the stuff that we're doing is not ever directly related to the kind of stuff that I would do in here. And that's a good thing. My best advice I can give to anyone out there, you absolutely need to have a work-life balance split. You cannot have your work permeate your personal life, and you shouldn't have your personal life over-permeating into your work. There can be some crossover sometimes, and sometimes it can be really fun to have that level of crossover, but it should not be 100% of the same thing all the time. That's a great way to find yourself running into trouble. That's a great way to have boundaries sadly be broken and have a real bad feedback. That's one of the worst things I did, is when I used to have my personal stuff always involved in my streams and content, a lot of my fans got turned off. They were like, man, I just liked it when it was just you doing stuff, and now you got all this other stuff going on, and we don't like it anymore. And that was feedback that, I didn't take at the time, and it was one of the biggest mistakes I made in my career, was having that sad over crossover. You know what I mean? But no, I would probably be gaming a good amount. If it weren't for me actually streaming and this being my occupation full time, I'd probably be a pretty avid gamer outside of here. It would probably be my big hobby and how I spent a lot of my time or free time. Like maybe I'd be, gaming with my wife. Like a lot of the stuff here that I play on stream, maybe I'd be playing it with my wife, right? I don't know. Okay, continuing on here. Let's see, we got John Nepper became a supporter this morning. Thank you, John, for the membership. I appreciate that. Thank you for supporting the channel. And then we've got Guitar Player did another $5 super chat. Thank you, Guitar Player. He says, there's a live-action Masters of the Universe trailer. Oh, yeah, I heard about that. And then, it's funny because, out of nowhere, they started talking about this movie. Like, whoa, they're making another Masters of the Universe movie. Wasn't really aware that there was a lot of demand for Masters of the Universe. You know what I mean? Like, hasn't really been in the minds of those of pop culture for a very long time. And then you start seeing like screenshots and scenes of it. You're like, oh, it's not that bad. And then they say, oh, and guess who's playing Skeletor? Jared Leto. And then you're like, wait. You're like, Jared Leto? The guy who just tanked Tron, the guy who tanked Morbius, the guy who just tanked like 10 movies in a row. Now he's playing Skeletor? Like, what are they thinking? Why is this guy still getting jobs? I don't know, man. But it's his voice? You think so? I don't know. It's insane to me. It's absolutely insane to me because I don't know. Again, already I feel like this movie is kind of like a Hail Mary, like who's going to watch it? Because who thinks about Masters of the Universe in 2026? And then you get the guy who's like movie kryptonite to be one of the leads. I just don't understand what people are thinking. I think they're nuts, quite frankly.